Okay, all right. Wow, how many of these have we been to today, this week? Quite a few, huh? I've been to like 3 this week. All right, Tendy's here,
Hello,
Rizky's
everybody.
here, Deepa's here, Nunli's here. Just waiting for Rafik. Rafik was just involved in Cynthia's promotion. He has not gotten a lot of sleep over the past few days. I think he's coming in for night shift. So with Rafik's case, what we're going to do is our very start of the recording, and I'm hoping maybe I can put somebody on to finding Rafik. Tendi, can I ask you to just kind of ping Rafik real quick and see if you can get him in?
Uh, sure, sure.
It should be before his turn to speak comes in, yeah? But ideally, if he can get in right now, that'd be great. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get started, everyone. So we're here gathered today to discuss Bayu's promotion review. Now, as I iterated earlier, actually in Cynthia's promotion review, Bayu's promotion review is a little bit different, and this is what I want to actually sort of bring forward. Bayu has actually created the structure of his own promotion review himself. I'm actually in favor of this because I think it actually exemplifies a sort of a never settle and an innovative spirit, and it sort of sees the world as an entrepreneur would, in a plastic way, in a way that we can form ourselves. So the format of this has never been used before, so it is a bit new. I haven't actually talked to Bayu, and we have approved it for a source of collection of everyone's thoughts. So, Bayu, maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you created this format for the promotion review so that everyone here can understand what's going on.
Okay,
Hmm?
so I'm thinking about the
Wow.
structure of a promotion is actually could be, especially in my case, because I cannot wait for someone anymore to offer me the promotion. So also in the future, maybe for senior position, you cannot really wait for someone to ask to promote you, right? So if you feel like your work is good enough and you are up for a promotion, you should promote like sponsor yourself to propose a promotion. So this format also almost same like proposing your thesis basically. So you have a draft, and then you propose the draft, and then discuss it with the what do you call it, advisor, and then the advisor would add something, remove something, and suggest something, and then when we agree on a format, then I complete all the requirements, and then when everything is complete, then I go back to the advisor and then see if I really complete everything that's necessary, and then after that, I invite all the other jury and explain all the material in my thesis basically, and then ask for the what do you call it, the scoring.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so that is Bayu's new system, and I think I actually endorse this system. I think one, it's innovative. Two, it's self-driven, and three, it is essentially the journey of an entrepreneur. Journey of an entrepreneur is if there is a problem, then let's try to figure out a way where we can solve it ourselves. And I will say, at a certain point, from an HR perspective, we can't. We also need everyone's help in determining where they want to go. This is a very young organization, and it's still fairly plastic here, meaning that this company can be whatever you want it to be for you two as well. We have a sort of a vision for everybody in a certain channel, but if you have a vision for a problem or an opportunity or some sort of direction you'd like to set, think of this as a project proposal, right? Think of it as your own sort of. I believe Numli mentioned this was actually fairly common in the world that she had come from. Like, write your own job description. Write your own job description. Set your own vision for what you think you can do, and ask us. And more often than not, we'll probably say yes. Yeah. If you've actually addressed a problem that you can identify and you actually have a solution, that is far more, I think, effective than us telling the problem, then seeking somebody, and then doing the hiring, and then doing the promotion. Okay, that being said, I would also like to highlight that there is, I guess, we do have a little bit of a discrepancy now. So the question I think Risky posed before was, okay, now everyone then has, I guess, essentially different promotion reviews, and how do we be consistent? So essentially, I think the main categories are still very much the same, right? We're still going to talk about sales, still going to talk about communication, teamwork, ownership. We're going to talk about essentially the core metrics and our core values and the core sort of career stages that everybody is in, like PCI, LI, LC, LE type things. But my contention is also this: Bayu's already a CTO. So what sort of is his next sort of milestone? Well, when you're at, let's say, a position of that, then you really are in a position where you need to have vision. You need to actually be able to see, I think, a little bit further than what the company can see in order to actually bring us there. And this is a experimental part, and I think it's important to actually make these kinds of risks. The other risk that we have at the moment is the risk of being inconsistent and saying, okay, well, everyone just determines their own criteria and such, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I'd just like to open this up for discussion to make sure that we're all sort of aligned on this. Is there any discussion about the fairness or sort of like the method Bayu's using? And does anybody have anything that they'd like to bring up? I'm just opening the floor now for discussion. Okay. All right, if there's no more discussion, then let this be known that this is the first time we're using it, and we are going to go ahead with it and see what happens. Okay? All right, so let's open this up and review each part one at a time. So we got the objective here. So the promotion review is to measure and determine if the candidate is up for a promotion, and that's pretty much the same as every other time. And it's also to define a new standard for what we call leadership excellence. So this can perhaps serve as a precedent for what we consider for our future leadership promotions. This is pretty rare that we have actually a more senior leadership level promotion, and I think this is also fairly important. We need to be rigorous, and I think we need to push back on Bayu and step a lot on toes, because if we really want our leaders to serve the company and to think about what this is, then this particular promotion will have quite a lot of impact on how the future of this company is going to roll forward. Our core values, our core mission, and alignment, and all these other things. So thank you everybody for contributing, and let's go into the each section. Bayu's proposed some promotion benefits, so this part is a bit new, and I've already actually had a bit of a bounce around with Bayu on this. He's asking for an increased base salary. I've said this is okay since there's been visible growth and leadership improvements. Now, Bayu's still actually at a base salary that has not been adjusted, I think, for at least a year, right? So this is this needs to be up to date, because he has actually been doing more leadership work that previously did not reflect in his base salary. Okay, there's an increased profit share request, and I assume this is in the form of increased equity shares, and this is the basis and focus of this evaluation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So profit share is essentially what we call ownership of the company. All right, wait. Profit share is different from equity. Okay, so this is what I want to distinguish. Equity is actually ownership of the company. So it means that if we ever get into, let's say, a liquidation event and we sell Bukit Vista for $10 million, then Bayu is entitled to a portion of that $10 million based on a percentage of the company that he owns. That's what we mean by equity share. Profit share is slightly different. Profit share is every year the company will generate profits, and that is a dividend. Essentially, we're paying a portion of that in proportion to ownership shares. Now, we as, let's say, partners in the company can decide whether or not we pay profit shares or dividends. That's pretty standard board procedure, but that's kind of like paid out of the profits per year. Now, profit share does not mean you have equity share, just to let everyone know, so that there's no confusion about this as you get to more senior level. Equity means that if we sell the company, you get a portion of that. Let's say you own 1% of the company, so you kind of own 1% of everything you see around you, right? You own 1% of everybody's work, you own 1% of every monitor, every table, every whatever, and everything around here. You also own 1% of all the deficits and debts that the company has. That's what equity is. Profit means that you just get a portion of the profits. So if the company were to sell, that doesn't mean that you necessarily would get that equity payout. Okay, all right, so we're all clear about what equity and profit share means. Good? Okay, all right, so this is good because we can define these terms in a much more transparent way. Okay, new employment and equity contract, yes, of course. Okay, that would come along with this this development to as well. I think that's fair. And Bayu asked for a 5-day work week. Now, I told Bayu that essentially this is a bit of a cultural change that I think would be difficult to arrange, but I do agree to it in some terms because I think it does allow new experience opportunities to open up, and it does reward senior people with a bit more time, and I think certain people have earned that through their work at the company. So, all right, is there any discussion about any of these proposed promotion benefits? And if there's discussion, let's have it now. Okay, is that Pat Indra? Is that Pat Indra?
Joshua.
Oh, okay, Joshua. Oh, that's Joshua. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay, there's any discussion? Okay, if there's no discussion, then we will move ahead. On these promotion benefits, I will have a discussion with Bayu if he does pass the promotion for the specific things, because these are private things. The only thing I think that would be public is essentially the days off, right? Because that would sort of have a bit of a cultural effect. So that one we will discuss, and if there needs to be more discussion on that, then I'll have it with Bayu and perhaps Wyana and a few of the partners in the company, what we'll do with that. Okay? All right, so if we're okay to move ahead with that, let's just go ahead and clear this. I motion that these will be the objective and the promotion benefits for Bayu's review. Can I get a second? Okay, it's been seconded by Risky. Is there any further discussion at this point? Okay, no. Okay, let's go ahead and move it. All in favor of having this as the objective and promotion benefits, please vote in favor now. Oh, okay, Tendi zipped off. Okay, Bayu, do you want to vote for your own? Okay, all right, great. We're going to move ahead, so there's no conflict at this point. All right, so let's name the jury. The jury here is Jing, he's the CEO, and then Tendi is Squad 2 leader. Tendi is zipped out for the moment, so we're just going to have to rely on the video for Tendi to come back in. We got Gigi, and Risky is direct client for finance-related tools. Let me go over to Risky. Risky, is Gigi there now?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Are you speaking on behalf of Gigi then?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, fantastic. Okay, Bayu, do you accept that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, great. All right, we got Diva, who is recruit for content. Not sure what that means. Okay. She's not a recruit anymore, right?
Successor?
Oh, okay. All right, there. Okay, let's change that. Okay. Okay. That would, okay. Okay. All right, the successor to content. We got Nunli and Eggy. I guess Nunli, you'll be speaking on behalf of Eggy, yeah?
No, actually.
Okay. All right, won't be speaking on behalf of Eggy. Would you like Eggy to be here, or will Nunli's opinion be sufficient for you, Bayu?
I think it should be sufficient.
Okay.
Basically related to my work as a revenue manager.
Okay, fantastic. All right, thank you very much then. All right, let's go to Rafik. Rafik is currently not here. Bayu, are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So this is the jury that has been proposed by Bayu. I motion that we move ahead with the current jury, minus, of course, the people who are absent, and that Bayu has already agreed will be absent. Is there any discussion about anybody who should be here or not be here, or any other people who should be here, or any amendments to this jury? Okay, none. All right, let's go ahead and move to a vote. All in favor of using this jury for Bayu's promotion review, please vote in favor now. Okay, that goes across with every. All right, so we got it. We got essentially everybody here. We got the team and the mission. Let's go ahead. The measurement metrics are going to be different now. They're going to be based on competency and on excellence. So related to the career metrics. And the metric categories are going to be in impact of growth. This is in lieu of sales. So at a certain level, as I discussed with Risky, it is much more impactful to allow for sales to happen, because we are talking about a company of people who are taking reservations. So we're talking about impact to growth. So this is setting the correct conditions and vision to allow for scalable growth. And the actions are to get inter-chapter workflow improvement so that chapters can work together better so that we can get the growth that we're looking through greater cooperation. And so this is getting LE and PCE work together. And this involves driving alignment between content and market building SLAs that focuses on the goals. MB's work are fully checked by content and only compliant leads are processed. Market building to revenue workflow, the market building leads are checked by revenue potential compared to the team's effort before deciding to be onboarded. and also content SLAs to reservation and revenue, providing clear KPIs to measure content work effectiveness related to bookings and conversion. So these are the conditions that we need to create, fulfill, and uphold in order to create the conditions that allow for growth. The second one is pay out email to partners to create distributed accounting report instead of monthly reports. So we tested on a few partners but not fully implemented. Wait, this is your evidence already, right?
This is the so basically this is the action that I took
Okay,
as
got
an
it.
objective, and that's the result. So if
Ah,
there's
got
any failure or success, then that's on the result.
Okay, got it. All right, fantastic. And then this has been tested to a few partners but not fully implemented. But now we can add as many partners as we want and not have to add multiplying load on finance reporting. Okay, great. So let's see. I think this is the part where Bayu actually starts talking about some of his stuff here. So I'm going to switch this over to Bayu, and maybe you can tell us a little bit more about some of these actions and results.
Okay, sure. So, in related to the theme, the impact to growth. My first action is that I contribute to create inter-chapter workflow. Basically, most of them are between market builders, content, and revenue manager, but some also related to reservation and the community manager as well. The one result that I want to highlight is that I contribute to drive alignment between content to market building SLA that focused on basically goals. That now the result is market building works are now fully checked by content and will not be proceed if it doesn't pass any certain condition. And then the second one that market building to revenue workflow for market building leads are checked by revenue manager in terms of potential. That now we have the term for at least $2,000 for a property, and then compared to team's effort before decided to be onboarded. So any big effort but low impact will not be pursued. Then the third one is content SLA to reservation and revenue. So basically, this is providing clear KPI to measure the content work effectiveness related to bookings and conversion. And then the second one would be the payout email to partner. The result is it's partially tested and probably also it will be small impact to the team. But this is actually impactful for the finance team because we can now just leave the reporting part to an automated system rather than we add more people when we add new partners. So that's the result for the growth.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about some of these things. Let's give a look. Over to you, Risky, about your comments on this. Do you agree that this is PCE work, process excellence?
Yeah, I agree, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Very good. All right, let's go over to Nung Lee. Do you agree that this is also leadership excellence and process excellence in terms of how to create this smooth inter-chapter workflow?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. All right. Very good. All right. So this document has been accepted as evidence, and let's go on to teamwork and leadership. So impact on monthly targets and goals that affect advances our missions. Targets change from month to month. May include quality of decisions for hires, promotions, and fires, meeting revenue targets, taking bookings, making sure adequate room supply is available, improving hospitality, recruiting new team members, and improvements in teamwork and communication. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about the first action there.
Okay, so the first action regarding recruitment, delegation, and mentorship. So the result is I'm able to recruit and delegate potential revenue manager in SWAT 2. That's D1 and Tendi. Basically, the result is D1 can do revenue management tasks in Padang-Padang and currently expanding to Uluwatu. And also Tendi also done that for Uluwatu and now expanding to Canggu. And they can do that independently without the need for hands-on or supervision, basically. And then the second one is to recruit and delegate the potential senior content specialist. In this case, it's Diba. now, from my own judgment, that Diba is actually capable to lead the content team right now. And then just a few days ago, I think, so uh, I'm
I
what do you
saw,
call?
I saw some difference in the document.
What?
Eh,
No. This is the same. So basically, I'm exit from the content sync up, and now I'm letting I believe that the content is actually now have what do you call?
Itu autonomy.
Yeah, autonomy basically. I don't want to be a friction or a bottleneck, especially because I'm the most senior person in content, but I'm not doing the actual content work. So I'm afraid that I would be a friction that everyone would need to ask me for any action. I prefer that they can do things first and then measure it themselves later.
Okay, got it. All right, since D1 and Tendi, okay, let's go to Tendi here first. Tendi, do you believe that this exemplifies leadership excellence and process excellence on your part?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Here's where I would like to actually sort of bring up a discussion. I always believe that, let's say, for example, if a person is recruited and delegated well, then those two people, or however many people, should be successful in their particular beats. I would like to actually just take a quick look at the data and see at what point would you say, Bayu, that you had actually fully delegated the revenue management duties to D1 and Tendi?
Okay, so there are some thing that we can see. This could be an action, an activity,
Okay.
and also a result. So
Okay.
from an activity, we can see from the feed of the partner Trello, basically PRM Trello,
Okay.
that Tendi and D1 they have actively checking the property every week, and then that's just from the activity. And then the second one is actually from the result that most of the areas in squad 2 actually already achieve target monthly target for 2 months 3 months in a row. So you can check that on the paper for squad 2
Okay.
action journal. It's called squad 2 action journal. I don't know what should be.
You can set SQ to OPR and then go to the.
Okay, SQ2 OKR, fantastic. All right. Okay, so while we load that up, let's see. Okay, so revenue targets are being achieved in the Squad 2 area, and let's take a look. Right, revenue action journal, Squad 2 action journal. All right, let's take a look at that. So this is the paper. We're gonna open this up and see what's inside, and there's an August action journal. Okay, right. Oh, interesting. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look. So the projection is 45, and it got to past 45. Okay, very good. And the projection here was 16, and it went past. This is for the month of August. August? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
July. That one is July.
This one's July.
That one is July, August, September.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. We're starting from June here. Okay, so July, the projection for Uluwatu was 45, and it hit 45 and above. The projection was 58, and it hit 63. And the September projection is 44, and it's already at 53. Okay, all right, looks good. All right, Padang. The projection is 16, and it's already hit 18. The projection is 27, and it was a little bit below at 25. And the September projection is 17, and it's already passed on 18. Okay, interesting. Okay, so these are the two areas that your two delegates have been working on. They're being able to project and achieve higher. Okay, so then the question is, how do we know that they're not just under projecting?
Basically, our target is always higher than other squads, and we can always achieve the squad. And
Okay.
even right now, not as of 20th of September, actually, squad 2 already passed the stretch target. So that's I think if we are under projecting, then the company is under projecting.
Ah, very good. Okay, quite logical too as well. All right, thank you very much, Bayu, for that update. Let's just take a quick look and see kind of like how this has been progressing. So I've seen this graph a few times, and I think this is actually very, very promising. The Squad 2 or Uluwatu area, the revenue, as you can see, is quite on the sharp uptick right now. It has never achieved this level of revenue ever before. I think in the past, I think it's hit new peaks actually. So let's go back 20 months for Uluwatu. And you can see that this is a new type of peak that has never occurred before. So last August we were at 47, this August we're at 63. It's almost a 50% growth since the previous year. I think we could attribute that to also probably some new properties as well, but revenue management definitely has a strong play in that. And Padang also as well has achieved a new peak that is almost crazy. It's almost, how should I even put it? It's almost double of what it was last year. So okay, I am pretty satisfied with this result. It does look like Bayu's delegates are managing the revenue correctly in a way that would allow them to operate autonomously. And these guys are on their way. Fantastic. Okay, let's go back to the promotion review. And okay, let's go over to, wait, where is it? What? Did this just pop up? What? Okay, all right, great. So focus on, okay, and Diba. Diba, how well do you feel, what do you give this, an LE or a PCE on being able to lead the content team? Okay, so we need you to evaluate this, right? So Bayu's put this down on, you are the product of his action, right? You're the result. So Bayu's claiming an LE and a PCE for this particular result. Would you agree that this is a leadership excellent and a process excellence? Okay. Well, you got to say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Grunt. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, we have concurrent beliefs on this. Okay. Great. Fantastic. Let's keep on going. I guess ultimately, leadership excellence will be if Diba gets promoted to lead the content team. That I think would be essentially the end result of this. This is just getting the start, but Diba agrees, so we'll say it's a good start. All right, on the next one, to guide Squad 2 members to create and achieve impactful OKRs, LC and PCE. So this is focusing on SLA metrics achieved as primary goals. All members are measuring their own performance and focus on what matters the most. Less activity-minded OKRs. OKRs are checked against squad theme and the impact are measured. And then squad buy-in systems proposing OKRs in Squad 2 based on effort versus impact. Tell us more about this, sir.
Okay, so in the beginning of when we applying OKRs in our team, basically most of the OKR are actually just action without goals. So that happened a lot in Squad 2. Mostly I propose the system. We are using different system than other squad. Basically, we are using Trello. That all of the OKRs are measured every month, and the progress are checked and follow up in that object manner. Basically, it's not what you do and what it's not the activity that you do, but what is your goal and what have you done to be one step closer to that goal. This is my personal judgment again. So all of the objection that is on Trello board on Squad 2 for the last 2 months is actually very on point OKR. There's an objective and a key result that can be actually measured, and all of the Squad 2 members are understand whether to say this OKR is achieved or not. We know it's pretty fair to abandon a project, an OKR, if it's actually not reaching any progress, not getting any progress, and everyone is okay with that. And also we have the squad theme that we vote when someone is proposing an OKR.
Okay, fantastic. Maybe you can show us a little bit of how this works. Let's say, for example, the simplifying phone calls for air support. So this is a call. This is a cardinal hospitality. So how can we understand this a little bit more?
Okay, so to understand this one, you should go to the theme first. Actually,
okay, let's take a look at the theme. The theme is PCE, PJI.
Yeah. So this one basically. Okay. So this one is pretty different because this project is across 2 months. The last month theme is actually pretty different. This is, I think leak something, fixing leak basically. So one of the leak that Tandy actually see is that right now we are doing having a lot of friction doing phone calls, so that project is accepted by the squad, that it will help fixing the friction on phone calls.
Okay.
So that's the system that we adopt.
Yeah.
Another one is maybe if you can go to I think this one, the Chandra's OKR, this one, learning on revenue management for backing up. So current month theme is squad efficiency, PCE, PGI, and LI. So this one is one of the it's labeled on project involvement basically. So Chandra is involving into a project of creating learning material for revenue management. So this is related to the project of Squad 2B expansion.
Okay.
Yeah. So also another part that's if you notice, every chapter have a card that is tagged with SLA. So basically, what we are focusing here is an SLA. So even though you don't have any OKR related on the squad, you still have SLA to be maintained every 3 days actually. So that's what the focus of everyone in squad 2.
Got it. Okay, I understand the system. Actually, it's really, really good. Wait, actually, I shouldn't have said that. But all right, let's go around and get everyone's opinions on this one. Let's go to, let's see, Nungli. Nungli, what do you think about this? Is this a form of process excellence?
Yes.
Okay. Is this a form of leadership competency?
I would tend to say yes.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yes.
All right. Let's go over to Tendi. Tendi, tell us a little bit more about this. Do you think that this is a form of process excellence?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because this for like a make a way for the squad to have a vision and mission.
Okay, all right. Yes, I would agree. I would agree that this is probably one of the more advanced systems that we're using in the company so far. I think it is actually a good visualization of the discussion that we had months ago. So good. Okay, all right. We're taking this in. KPI dashboard to measure SLA achievement for all chapters. Okay, so we already know what that is. We use it at all hands. Team members on squad have clear goal and understand what to measure. Okay, Bayu, this one, what are you proposing for this?
Okay, so before basically we don't know what to measure. Oh, you mean
Yeah.
this one?
Mhm.
I think this one is on leadership. Excellence.
Okay, all right. Mhm.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, right. Let's see. Does anybody agree that this is leadership excellence? Or does anybody disagree this is leadership excellence? Okay, I'll be the first to say, yes, I think this is leadership excellence. Having a clear vision of what everybody should go towards is a form of the best kind of leadership. It's setting alignment, setting goals, setting a vision. This is the problem that we're going to tackle. It allows everyone to then work autonomously to go towards that in their own particular way. So setting up the scoreboard such that we can understand what each chapter is accountable for, and deciding what those KPIs are, and deciding what those what SLA achievement means, puts a much more concrete focus on where we're going. Okay. Does anybody else have any discussion about this? Before that, I think we're all kind of blind. We're like, okay, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Okay, all right, hires and promotions. Passing Gani's trial week in Jogja. So Gani has passed his promotion. Great. All right, and this was also passing Deepa's trial week for content. Progress Deepa for good progress. Okay, this is so far back, I can't even recall what was going on. Bayu, tell us more about this.
Okay, so I think this is new from our new discussion about leadership. Basically, we as a senior person, when we pass someone for a trial week or for a promotion, we need to have the consequences of the future of that person. So here, the one that I showed is that I judge for Gani's employment,
Mhm.
and then so far Gani is actually having a pretty good track in terms of career. So has already passed probation and also I think have a promotion few months ago. I think.
Mhm.
And then also same with Biba. So far Biba has already passed the probation and also promotion review. Something that I haven't mentioned here is actually the failure actually. So I passed the OT's promotion, and that's actually not a pretty good judgment from me.
Okay, well, actually, thank you for putting that up. That's actually being transparent. Okay, and this was ultimately also failure. I will also chip in on that one, and so will Tendi and everybody else. Okay, all right. Yes, who tapped me on the shoulder?
No,
Oh, there's an ad. Okay. All right, let's go over to, okay, Gani's not here to speak about this. So you supervise Gani and Diva's trial week, is that correct?
I'm not supervising, but at that time, I am the only senior content person.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's just up to me if we pass this candidate or not.
Okay, great, fantastic. Over to this is actually a new metric. So we decided to put this in, Bayu and I spoke about it, and it's a form of moral hazard. So moral hazard is, all right, so if we have promotion reviews, then everybody's just going to say nice things about everyone, all right, so that we can all get promoted. So this is a form of control in that particular way. So if you do say, for example, I agree to promote this person, then we're going to also take a look later on at your promotion reviews and see, did you promote somebody who ultimately did not pass? So in this particular case, we got 2 passes and one not pass. Let's go over, open up for discussion. Diva, what would you call this in terms of a metric, in terms of hiring and promoting the right people? Yeah. What is this? Is this LI, LC, PJC, PJI, P? Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like between both, right? Hiring and promoting is actually a form of high leverage leadership behavior, and it's delegation. It's truly delegation. And to be a really good leader, you have to be very good at delegating, and this is a form of delegation. So it is actually on the boundary point, I would say. Competent leaders always need to be able to delegate. Excellent leaders should be able to delegate very, very, very well. Okay, so do you feel that, we already spoke about this already. This is related to your own progression. Okay, cool, good, excellent. So that covers the teamwork and the leadership aspect. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next one, communication. Context. So the context of, communication we break down into 2 elements. One is context and the second is signaling. So context is to reduce the noise and chatter by providing communication frameworks that allow for highly contextual communication. And that's creating alignment via documentation, evaluations, and written expressions of communication. So once again, this type of communication is slightly different, and it is, once again, a higher metric than communication at more early stage promotion reviews. We want people who are in more senior roles to improve the climate of communication. And one of the most important things is to reduce noise. If you don't reduce noise, then your communication overhead keeps on rising and rising and rising and rising. It becomes unmanageable over time, as we've all experienced in this company. So as a senior leader, you really need to think about how to make communication efficient and much more based on context and far less based on signaling. But signaling is nonetheless very, very important. This is effective and timely communication at key critical moments. So crises, sort of different things where the signals need to be urgently attended to. This is the part of signaling that we're counting on for senior leaders. Okay, so let's go to Bayu again. Please talk about your actions.
Okay, so my action is I create a streamlined inter-chapter workflow inside one platform. Basically, the result is like the payment report automation via email that is synced with the partner dashboard. So one source of truth. Then the second one, market building to content flow for new properties submitted by the partner. So market building send the form to new partner, partner fill up property details show up in content dashboard, property list, and flag. So before we have miscommunication between partner to content, because that's done by different people, and it's not in one object basically. Now, if there's a mistake in content, it means the mistake on partner. So because the source of truth is basically just one. And then another one, reservation and host to finance flow for finance related issue. The old flow is reservation will record each case related to financial, and then reservation sent to finance person according to squad via WhatsApp, and then finance will check the payment. And then the new flow is reservation or host make a note on arrival list for the case, depend on which case is that. Any update is about the case stored as a timeline. And then if there's an unusual payout, finance can refer to the notes that related to that booking ID in the guest list or in payout report. And then it's meant to be no direct communication between chapter or between reservation chapter and finance or between a person. So the data is stored and can be reviewed later.
Okay, fantastic.
And
All right.
yeah. Another one is HAR to night shift. The old flow would be air support will post on each squad group on WhatsApp for dependencies and ongoing case. I think that still happened actually.
Squad 4.
Yeah.
You just promoted somebody based on that. Okay.
Yeah, but the new flow should be host and air support update each case on the booking itself, on arrival list, and night shift check on booking details and no handover needed.
Okay, interesting. All right, is there any discussion about this? Bayu, would you be able to give a demo on this? Because I think that would actually be super persuasive on especially the payout. Wait, actually, instead of the demo for the moment, let me just go over to Risky. Risky, how helpful is this new finance flow for you?
To be honest, sir, finance team is using the old flow.
Okay.
But I believe the new flow is another new vision for the finance team.
Okay.
I do update it on the bug report about if we can apply the notification on the payment on the bigger on the payout.
Okay.
The plan is that, and so if there's a special case, the host of the air support can just write that down there.
Okay.
And the data will be stored in the bigger.
Okay, sounds good.
And no direct communication whatsoever with finance.
Okay, got it.
Airport office.
And that would reduce signaling. Okay, all right. Risky, when do you plan on actually using this new flow?
As soon as the payout report has the notification on the.
Already from last week.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. All right. Interesting. So, but once again, this is really about Bayu and his also distribution of these new flows and old flows. Okay. Got it. So reservation flow. Okay, and the reservation flow. Who can speak on reservations here? Let's go to Tendi. Tendi, can you speak a little bit on what you think about the old flow, new flow in terms of how the reservation is affecting your side of the business in terms of finance reports?
Yeah. Actually, for the new flow is it's very hard for the reservation and hosting.
Okay.
Also the problem.
Okay.
Because if there's any case, usually you put in the comment
Okay.
the case.
Okay.
So the night shift team can know for the handover, and then the finance also know about the extent or something or refund or something.
Okay, understood. And then, how much of your squad is actually implementing this new flow right now?
It's almost 100%.
100%. Okay, all right, fantastic. Rafik is here. Okay, just in time. Thank you very much, Rafik, for appearing. All right, great. Yeah, okay. Let's go over to Rafik to also get his input. There's a new flow on Bigger right now related to host and finance. Well, actually, okay. We'll have to. Okay, a little bit later on, Rafik, I'll have to bring him up on the context. All right, to Market Builder, to Nung Lee. How effective has this new flow brought to your work?
I think it's definitely better.
Okay.
Okay, you said you just.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I definitely think it's an improvement from the very manual process in the past.
Mhm.
I would say if I had to give a percentage, out of which I think maybe 30-40% of it has been automated.
Okay.
I would like it if you could try to automate even a bigger chunk of that process,
Mhm.
so that less of it is less of market builders' time is spent on administration.
Understood. Okay. All right. And I believe Bayu is already working on such a project right now, right? Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay, but we're talking about kind of like before and after, I guess. So in
So
terms.
that's definitely progress.
Okay. All right. Good. So okay, this has been labeled as PJE and PCE, Project Excellence and Process Excellence. Let's go over to ask Tendi. Do you believe that this is Project Excellence and Process Excellence? Tendi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, fantastic. Let's go over to Nungli. Would you also agree that this is Project Excellence and Process Excellence?
Yes.
Okay, all right, fantastic. Let's go over to, I guess, Rafik. Rafik, this is streamlined inter-chapter workflow. This is all the stuff that we do on Bigger, essentially. So do you agree that this is Process Excellence and Project Excellence?
Yes.
Okay, all right, fantastic. We seem to have agreements on that. Let's keep on going. All right, streamlined property onboarding process using forms and automated Trello cards. All right, so this is oh wait, sorry, this is your floor. Here, go ahead, buddy.
Okay, so this one is information are direct between owner to market. Oh yeah, okay. So this one basically the reducing the human error part. Basically information between the property, even whether that's an address or an amenities of the property, that goes directly from the owner to market builder to HAR to content and to finance without any human involvement. Supposedly, sometimes there's still human involvement, but the main information is actually direct from owner. So this is a reduced distortion in information caused by verbal communication during new partner onboarding.
Okay, interesting. All right, that's a little bit like okay. All right, got it. So is let's see, who can we get for who has witnessed this actually? Can maybe we get just some input. Who has actually experienced less distortion due to this new system? Anybody want to raise their hand and volunteer? Okay, all right. So Nungli, tell us more about this.
Okay, so I think this is where maybe about 2-3 months ago, Bayu and I had, and together with the two teams, had a powwow.
Powwow.
And yeah,
Okay.
and then we, I think that goes back to earlier what I was saying, that there was some parts that were being automated. An example of which would be moving a Trello card from one list to another will automatically generate a content request. So that is essentially cutting 2 steps down to 1.
Holy shit! Such a thing happens?
Yes, sir.
Wow,
So that's my example.
that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So okay, so when we move the Trello card, we don't have to send a content request because moving from partner onboarded to
Where's the photo shoot? Yeah.
is already
We'll
a.
create
That's pretty slick. Okay, all right, that's interesting. All right, good. Okay, what is this by you? What category do we put this?
Process.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay, all right. Let's see. Let's just get another agreement here. Risky, do you think this is process excellence? Okay. All right. Yes, this is streamlining the process so that there's less frictions. Okay. Whew. Next category: hospitality embraces the culture, enhances the culture of hospitality within the department, and reinforces the image of our hospitality brand to guests and partners. Okay. So we got here community management dashboard to improve feedback visibility from our partners. The partners can see reviews from guests, and important issues are fine. Community manager can use this to start a conversation with partner and to promote hospitality excellence in the community. Okay, let's go. Sorry, this is your floor. Keep on doing that. Yeah, Bayu, to you.
It's okay. It's okay. So this is basically this is more into a project actually because this project is delivered, but the result, the impact of this project is we cannot see that yet. So basically, we want every partner actually feel the same burden as we when we get a bad review. Right? So it's not only Bukit Vista that got bad reviews, but partner also they have to get bad review, and they can they can do an action on that bad review. So basically, it's not shown on the screenshot, but there's actually a button to fix the issue. Basically, if they do something to make sure that this issue is not repeated for the next guest, they can report that, and then they can be proud of it actually.
Checklist, yeah. Okay. All right. It's like a to-do list that flags automatically. Okay. All right. Interesting. What would you call this?
Project excellence.
Okay, PJ. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's go over to the community. So it's mostly handled by Rafik. Rafik, what do you think about this new tool?
Yeah, for me it's good tools,
Mhm.
but same like Bayu said, I think this one is we cannot see it yet,
Mhm.
so that's why we need to. Thing is, I hope it's on 30 of September. Maybe I can go because I didn't meet the partner yet
Mhm.
and see how it's going here,
Okay.
how it
All right.
goes here, and then on 30 of September maybe Bayu can do a demo a little bit how to the partner do this.
Okay.
Because this is on our side is only for employee, right?
Yep.
It's not his partner. So
Yep.
I need to know what on partner side.
Fantastic.
Uh,
Okay.
the-
All right.
the
See what
screen,
their feedback is. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And this one has a few interesting features to it. It gives a review sentiment and also some keywords, I guess, that are crucial to the review, and also a checklist so that the partner gets a review list. Okay. All right. And yes, brought up the issues about base best practices. Yes. Okay. That was funny. Go ahead, Bayu. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. Okay. So this is as an employee actually. So I'm aware. I care about tidiness of the place that I work at. So basically, I don't think everyone would prefer untidy places than a tidy place. But I don't think. I think this is already becoming a habit to have an untidy working space. So just brought up the issue, and turned out everyone actually agree with that, and everyone is actually prefer clean and tidy place. So I see that most of the people at base actually contributing that, cleaning table using coaster, and then also washing their own dishes, and that's becoming a habit now. We don't need to police
Don't need it. Yeah.
everyone. There's some people that still doing that, but it's actually less. Few people is better than everyone is throwing.
Okay. All right. Great. What would you call this?
Process. I don't know. Leadership?
I would call this leadership competency, definitely. Getting a cultural habit started, almost to the verge. Let's say in terms of overall hospitality excellence, it could also be touching on excellence. Yes, I do remember the condition of this place beforehand, and it was disgusting. It was actually kind of a double disgustingness. I think the sloppiness is also, how would I say, it's kind of like a trash dump, just gets more trashy because people just think it's a trash dump. And I think this was a good steer in the right direction to say, no, this isn't a trash dump, and to put like the minority in the dirty people rather than the minority in the tidy people. So I have also noticed that this lends itself to other cultural improvements, such as respect for the place and respect for our work, and respect for our tools and respect for our colleagues. So this one I do see is actually having, yes, it has grown into a culture, which has been quite beneficial, especially to new people who come in. They identify it and it just becomes, yeah, that's normal, right? Rather than it's just normal to live in a kind of a pigsty here. Okay, all right, good. Any other comments on this? Okay, great. All right, fantastic. Let's go to innovation. Innovation, okay, produces projects that extend product portfolio, improve operational efficiency, booking conversion, or guest experience. Okay, let's talk on this. So, go ahead.
Okay, the first one is the partner dashboard to improve the system adoption by all partners, content features that needed by partner, and also becoming a platform to educate partners.
Mhm.
One function is accounting report. Basically, we reduce the finance workload on doing that on a monthly basis and doing that for 200 partners or so. That would be very heavy, especially if we add more partners. If we add more 100 new partners, then we will need 3 more finance people. So this one is to reduce that. And then the second one is arrival list to improve hospitality score by raising awareness of guest arrival awareness to on-site staff. They now can check today's arrival and what time the guests are arriving. So they can just be wait at home before the guests arrive, and then when the guests arrive, they can arrive to the property and then make sure everything is good. I think that's better rather than just guessing or just working on the normal working hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just have a quick question. Is the ETA transmitted directly through from Airbnb to Bigger, or we have to manually input it?
No, we need to manually input it because on Airbnb there's no information, there's no such information. We just ask the guests manually.
Okay, interesting. All right. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then the revenue dashboard. This is also to improve awareness for partners, especially regarding monthly revenue instead of daily. There's no information about daily pricing right now, right there. But people will see if there's any improvement or some the progress of their property basically.
Okay, interesting. It also tracks their booking pace, but there's no. Okay. All right. Good. Good. Good stuff. So this is also being claimed as project excellence and project and process excellence. Okay. Great. Let's go over to Tendi. Any feedback about this? Tendi smiling. You like that, Tendi? Yeah. Good. Okay. I know you're smiling because of
Maybe
this, right?
talking to someone.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay.
Sorry, sir, I just update.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, for this, actually that's really have now the Uluwatu Village house owner is actively because I have explained how to use it. So now he actively to use this and then updated the check-in if the guest already check-in, so they will mark it to the check-in. So we know the host know all the guests already check-in. So we don't
Fantastic.
need to ask if there's no one in the house. So we not compete with room and then if the guest already arrived or not. So
Amazing.
and then sometimes you can give the review and the comment that all good with the guest, like or the guest have problem, please meet her or him. So the host can aware, like.
Okay, got it. Host awareness is being improved. Okay, all right, got it. Let's see. Does anybody ever still ask you about when the guests are checking in on Squad 2, Tendi?
Just the partner that didn't use the bigger yet.
Okay, partners that don't know use Bigger yet. Okay. Are we diligent about updating the ETAs on Bigger?
I'm not sure, but some of the guests is the time is already updated.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure. Mas Bayu, is it the because before I have a project with Chill, no, with Vincent for the APA. So when the guest like get the welcome message, so the guest can fill the APA and then reflect to the DPRR.
Yeah, that's
So the guest-
still
Is it reflected as well?
that's
For
still
the-
relevant, but the number of guests that actually fill up the ETA is very small. So we don't know how to see that actually.
Okay.
Just out of, I've been an Airbnb guest. ETA is something that they actually Airbnb provides as a metric for host stuff. So I don't agree that Airbnb doesn't provide that. Does anybody else see that, or are there no ETAs coming from guests?
Sometimes, sir, but not
Sometimes.
all.
Okay, or inconsistent, right? I remember on my Airbnb, I couldn't actually finish the reservation until I had filled out my ETA.
Yes.
Right.
Check-in time. And,
Yeah, I have to put it in, otherwise it doesn't let
Between
me.
2 until 4. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Irrelevant in bigger scope of things, but okay. All right. Interesting to know. Cool. Let's go to accounting. Rizky, how helpful is this?
I haven't feel the effect yet, sir.
Okay. All right. Got it. So, do you think it's because partners are not using it, or partners are understanding it, not calling you anymore?
Partner using it, but kinda don't understand.
Okay. All right. To me, this seems actually pretty straightforward, but I'm not sure. So, orange means not sent, right?
Send the partial.
Oh, okay.
You have
And
two splits, right?
okay.
So blue means there are 85 to partner and 15 to Bukit Vista.
I only see purple here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one. And so I think the colors change. Okay. Yeah. So there are two kind of sent,
Okay.
partial sent and also full sent, and also there's a pending and then also incorrect. So by default we see pending because the Airbnb didn't send the payout yet.
Right.
So if we see one cent, most probably that is actually sent to partners, the 85%. And then if we see the purple one, it means that there are two payout that in total is 100% and as same as the booking value.
Okay, understand. So we can actually see. How are you getting this right? Is it through the emails or?
Yeah. Email that Airbnb sent.
That's amazing. How do you actually? Okay, all right. That's unprecedented. What happens when they're bundled together?
Yeah, the bundle is right there. The transfer value, right?
Oh,
The bundle
okay,
is always
okay,
same
okay,
with the
okay,
transfer
okay,
value.
Got it. And you can see what booking codes are in the bundle.
Yeah.
I see. All right, pretty good. All right. Okay, if this is working, this should allow Risky to reduce his what is it called? Reconciliation by quite a lot. You only have to reconcile whatever is detected as not being right. Okay, cool. Good stuff. Let's keep on moving now. Implementing AI. Oh yes. Okay. All right. Of course. Tell us more about this.
This one is more project. I think we don't know we don't know what to do actually with our data. So this one is more about exploring the possibility of using machine learning to process our data. So far, it's very limited. We are using this for reviews and also questions asked by guests. We don't see any meaningful impact in our operation yet. But at least we know now that there's a negative review or a positive review. Before we never see that. Airbnb never give us something like that. It's just the start rating. But now, especially the newest one, in a positive review, we can see which particular sentence is actually negative. So positive review is not always 100% positive, but there's a positive review with one issue, positive, and all actually negative review with one positive sentence, something like that. So this one is more into project, basically. I don't know what is it called, like exploration, trying new things, mostly in the never settle.
Say it's leadership in a way, right? You're kind of going into new territories that are not really well understood by anybody else too, as well. Okay, all right, interesting. Thank you very much, buddy, for that update. It's a type of leadership. It is, yeah, I guess you are leading never settled then in that particular case. We call that a little bit of LE, since it does take some courage to go off and try stuff that is very fresh and new technology, especially something like machine learning. Okay, all right. Any other thoughts or comments on this one? Yes, go ahead.
This better. This is input for Bayu.
Yep, input for Bayu.
Because it's the review keyword, right? Maybe you can put the username, like maybe if we have a review mention for me, for example, have a keyword like this. So one traffic will be one, and then so for example, attendee get 5 reviews this month. Okay,
Possible, Bayu?
right.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, interesting. Okay, good. I would actually argue that this is a bit more impact than Bayu has actually said, because our guest count is going up and our review count is going up without having some sort of AI understanding the general sentiment of what's going on in a centralized way. I think it becomes harder and harder to actually figure out. It's radar. It's essentially radar. It allows us to like target specifically what is not right and ignore the stuff that is, let's say, okay. So if we have humans read that all the time, it would become very, very difficult to pick out all the key flares or bogeys or whatever else we call danger points coming in terms of where reviews are failing. If we do pass machine learning, it does give us a much more pinpoint, fast, and I think we can have an instantaneous response to that. So that would be the evolution of how you could take that value. But just allowing that sort of connection allows us to actually scale the company once again without having to have a large number of human readers go through every review, checking if everything's okay. And also delegating the reviews over to partners also helps with that process too. So it is a form of feedback management, and if we don't get good feedback management as we scale, then the quality of service becomes disassociated with the quality of the scale. Okay, all right, it's a bit of the secret sauce. So I'm going to give that actually some LE credit as well, because that once again sets the vision and it sets a correct condition for scaling to happen. All right, interesting. Okay, one of the things I want to actually talk about is this really quickly. This is just a general lesson for everyone. This is O of N. Does anyone, oops, sorry. Let me see if this is actually said anywhere. So in computer science, we have a big O complexity question, which is essentially like this. If there is more complexity in, this is just a quick lesson, right? This is what we talk about when we talk about scaling a company, and this is actually for everyone here. So when we talk about scaling a company, there are things that get really out of hand really quickly. So this is called exponential difficulty. Essentially, as you add just a little bit more, your complexity increases exponentially. What's beginning to become like that was actually the WhatsApp group creations. As we added more and more groups, it became exponentially harder to actually keep track of all the different communications in that. And that's not what we want to do. We don't want to have exponential effort for linear growth. That's terrible. That means we have to hire 20 more people if we have to grow, let's say, 10% more. We want to have as much as possible this kind of growth, right? So this means we put in the same amount of effort and we can keep on growing over and over and over. That effort stays the same. Things like review management software that Ivan produced, things like that keep essentially the amount of workload balanced. These are ways that we can continue scaling the company without having to put in exponential amounts of effort. So this I always see as being very, very positive, and there's a gem of projects that allow us to do that. Okay? All right, so I just wanted to show that graph. Does everyone get this concept as well? Yeah? Okay, yeah. So we want to have this kind of growth, not this kind of out of control, gets harder and harder and harder to do things. As a straightaway analogy, let's say we brought in 20 more properties. I don't want everyone to have to work double the time being here if we have, let's say, that kind of situation. All right, let's keep on going. Ownership, taking responsibility for the outcome of your plans. Let's go over to action. So all the internal tool responsibilities. Go ahead, Bayu.
Okay, so the action is, I take all the internal tools responsibility and make sure all the background processes keep running. Most of them are actually not noticeable by everyone, and then the result is minimal interruption in daily operation, and then database migration, new platform switchover, bug fixes. We don't have any outage during the switch, and then another action in multiple field, revenue management for squad 2, and then voluntary revenue management backup for squad 4 on June and July. And then rebuild partner dashboard project. A previous project with the intern programmers are failed actually, and we pivot to a new project management system which is more successful. Programmers are freelancer based on no work, no pay, and then that's more in control. So far, deadlines are delivered on time and regularly. And then the cost versus result is more predictable than hiring an in-house programmer where we don't know the quality of the programmer, but we know how to. We need to pay, but we don't know the result. So I think this is.
Okay, interesting. All right. So any discussions on this? Okay, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say yes. This is actually absolutely good. This is really good. So the database got migrated. We were in a very vulnerable spot when Nia and Vincent had decided just to kind of disappear with BVRR. That was the main, essentially, way that we were doing things. And so any number of hiccups or losses could have resulted in catastrophic failure. And I don't mean that in a casual way. We were coming into peak season and we didn't have access to either of these two programmers. So looking back at that point, if BVRR stopped working, I don't know what we would do, actually. That would be pretty terrible. So that had happened. We also switched over to a new database. We're using Amazon Web Services now, which is a more robust platform as well. Is that what you mean by the new platform?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right.
And also bigger, from before to bigger.
Yeah. Okay. So all these things have happened rather seamlessly in terms of interruptions to operations. Did you notice any changes in, let's say, Rafik? How many? Let's just say, have you noticed anything different about? Have you noticed that there was a tooling problem recently?
No, it's probably we are to because I think it's much better.
Okay. All right. It's better, in fact.
It's
Okay.
better.
All right.
Because they have pictures, they have everything is over there.
Okay. Got it. What about Tendi? Tendi, over to your side. Have you noticed any interruptions in service as we've been going through the past 5 months?
Hello, sir.
Have you noticed any interruptions in service on the tools run by the internal tools chapter in the past 5 months?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of interruptions have you noticed?
For the tools, bug is
But fixes.
No, I mean, have you noticed any interruptions in tools? Have you noticed arrival list breaking or certain programs on internal tools not working the way they should in, let's say, the past 5 to 6 months?
yeah for the like arrival time
Okay.
and then the comment.
Okay, so arrival time and comments are okay. All right. Well, that's worthwhile, I guess, to notice. But I guess this is what is it? Is it max? Is it stress? Is it what sort of would you give it in terms of a scale from, let's say, 1 to 10? 1 being not very bothersome and 10 being very bothersome.
9.
Being
Tourism.
troublesome. Yeah. Okay. All right. 9 out of 10 on bothersome by Tendi. Okay. All right. Okay, Rafik, would you have anything to add to that or anything to say about that?
No.
Okay. All right. So what would you give it in terms of like that particular scale, in terms of how much it interrupts your work?
9.5.
9.5. Okay, 9.5. Okay. Wait. You guys are sure this is bothersome, right? This is 9.5 in terms of how much it okay, this is a serious problem, yeah? Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because sometimes the finance, if we cannot like put the comment in the reference list, it's like a mix in the WhatsApp group. When the host just report in the group,
Okay,
someone is gone something.
I see. Okay, comments. What was the other part? Comments and
Arrival time.
okay, and arrival time. Okay. And you also agree that this is a serious problem, yeah? Okay, all right. Okay, interesting. All right, cool. On squad 2, revenue management on squad 2. Oops, all right. Revenue management on squad 2. Let's go over to Tendi. How has Bayu been doing on that?
Yeah, it's good. From the first, you teach me how to make the revenue projection and then how to like set the price and then promotion and then see which date that I have to change the price and everything. So
Okay.
I just need like 1 or 2 weeks to run.
Okay, got it. Cool. All right, we got that also confirmed in the previous top part and impact to sales, so that part seems okay. And
Thank you, Mas Bayu.
again.
Thank you, Mas Bayu.
You're welcome.
All right, and okay, last part is rebuild the partner dashboard. So this is yes, okay. The interns never did that project, right? They got halfway or
They tried, but they
couldn't get it. Yeah, and then wait, didn't another one fail while you found this programmer, the current one?
No.
So okay, this was okay. So it's been successful. Wow. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Okay, that's also a form of hiring too. I think selection of team. Okay. All right. Interesting. Did you put leadership down for this person? You're leading your programmer too, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't put that.
Okay. That could be another dimension of leadership. It's a new type of leadership, in fact. It's like kind of a freelance leadership. Okay. All right. All said and done. A lot of criteria. Let's talk about the grading rubric for the jury now. So let's talk about all the different metrics and what they mean. So when we talk about PJC, project competency, we see that a person is able to observe the areas for improvement. They're able to visualize a project that can address the opportunity. They can assemble a team around the vision to engage the opportunity and they can execute the project to completion, and they can iterate in a lean, agile way until the intended outcome is reached. So that's what we talk about, project competency. On project excellence, we say that the person is lean, agile wizard, and is essentially coordinating multiple cross-functional projects that move the company forward towards the goal of becoming the world's most innovative hospitality company. Okay, on leadership competency, we talk about candidate has experience and can reasonably lead others, bring others to follow your example through all-hands guild projects, OKR meetings, democratic discussion, Socratic discussion, events, or workshop. These are all different ways that competent leaders can actually lead, and they should be successful using these various forms of leadership. And talking about leadership excellence, we're talking about a personal vision in full alignment with the company's vision. The candidate can drive the organization in an intentional and progressive path towards the goal of becoming the world's most innovative hospitality company at chapter squad, company level, multi-chapter level. Okay, all right, great. Let's go from at the bottom of the list. Whoa, there's more supporting materials.
No. This is duplicated with the previous one.
Okay, all right. So let's go to Rafik. Okay, Rafik's first, and then we'll let him go. Wait, no, he can't go because he's part of the promotion committee.
I can go.
No, you gotta stay. Okay, all right. So Rafik gives an impact growth of project excellence and leadership excellence. Bayu has got the idea to make our job simple in the ops team and solving problems for ops team as well. Okay, Rafik, why did you get project excellence?
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's before from the beginning, I make a Google sheet, right? You remember?
Yes, I do.
I always check 5 days ahead.
Okay.
But now I can check at least 5 minutes the reservation. Right?
Okay, fantastic.
That is why I make it one.
Okay, and leadership excellence?
Yeah, Bayu is is good. What it's called is mentor for me as well.
Okay, all right, interesting. Okay, so point for mentorship.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's go to teamwork and leadership. So we got PJC and LE, project competency and leadership excellence. Okay,
Yeah.
take action to lead community chapter
Yes.
discussion and improve about community SLA. Go ahead.
Yeah, that says because me and Nangli is I think so busy, right? I'm going to China and everything, and then we don't have like a SLA on our community management before.
Okay.
And then Bayu is stepping up to
Ah.
lead the guild, and then I join it.
Okay.
So I think that is for the leader excellence.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's also
From
the most recent, yeah?
From
Okay.
the project to the excellence.
Okay, got it. And, okay, all right, PJC. Why not PJE on project excellence and teamwork?
Because I'm not sure about that.
Okay, all right.
At least the last one I understand.
Okay, got it. All right, we got PJC and LE for communication. Easy to discuss everything with them, but sometimes it's late response, maybe too busy.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
a little bit more on your thoughts there.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to discuss everything about the operational, about the commodity, about the pricing and everything, but even though the economic. As information, when I maybe Bayu remember on 2016 when I was joined at Bukit Vista, is Bayu learning me how to use Google Sheet, how to check the reservation. Is Bayu is my mentor.
Okay.
And also, but the point is Bayu is late respond. If you don't ping him many times, he will be replay maybe 10 or 15 minutes later.
Okay, got it. All right, cool. And then he's sharing experience about hospitality, BB, and the others. Got PJC and LE on that one. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is he always sharing to me how to solve the problem before. This is good for the hospitality. So.
Okay.
And then I give what is it called distribute to the new people.
Okay.
This sharing knowledge is good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Innovation got PJE and LE. They have many idea like
Yeah,
bigger and
this one.
VVAR. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. And then ownership. Contact personally owner about our revenue management. Discuss with me, especially in Canggu. PJC and LE. Okay.
Yeah, this one is I think this is the good one from Bayu, the revenue management. I hope it's steady. I think steady will be the same like him. So Bayu discuss with the owner, and then if the owner a little bit angry, and then discuss with me, and then back to the owner, it's okay. Yeah, it's like that. So
he iterates around.
yeah,
Okay.
it's good buddy.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good. Interesting. All right. Any advice for you?
No,
No advice.
no.
You can't teach him anything.
What?
No advice. No words of wisdom.
So far, no.
Okay. All right. Interesting. All right, let's keep on going then. Let's go to Nungli. Nungli says, okay, PJE, project excellence and leadership excellence and impact growth. IT plays a critical role in the company's growth plans and provides the biggest defense against competitors. Interesting. Okay. Bayou's latest project on Bigger is a step towards that direction. I give excellence because he's thought about how Bigger can evolve in a sustainable manner. I feel he generally considers sustainability in his work. All right, tell us more about that, Nungli.
Okay, so basically, Bayu and I have that conversation around the owner's dashboard.
Mhm.
So I understand where Bayu's vision of that dashboard would be, and in essence, I mean, this is what I feel like. Essentially, I think for why I gave him excellence in both areas is that I think a project doesn't just stop when the results are being shown, or there is a deliverable and an output. I think as Bayu's, as our values, it's never settled, right? So I think definitely in that sense, when it comes to impact to growth, it's about continuous growth, not just growth without any alignment or without any vision.
Mhm. Okay,
Yes.
very good. Next one, teamwork and leadership. Judging from Squad 2's growth in the past month, Bayu has proved that he can lead. Although Tendi is squad lead, I believe Bayu has guided Tendi in the background to nurture him in the leadership. However, there seems to be some hiccups. Every now and then content will be good if Bayu can also help guide the team in these areas. Okay, so PJE and an LC. All right, tell us more about that.
So I see Bayu as a leader in both Squad 2 and in the content side, but I think maybe I'm not sure where his percentage of scope of work is, but I think hard for me to mention on Squad 2, but just looking at the results, I think definitely there's been an impact there in terms of his leadership and with rounding up the team. But I think where I would be able to comment a little bit more would be under the content side. Sorry, right now I really cannot give any. I would like to give a example. When I was writing this, I had an example in mind, but then right now I really can't remember anything right now. But I can definitely tell Bayu and give Bayu feedback after that.
Okay. Let's move on to communication. It's project excellence and leadership competence. Bayu is a silent warrior. I've enjoyed having meetings with him. Communication is clear, concise, and well thought through. I'd like to say we generally get each other. So that's a very open and constructive feedback. I see Bayu as a historian in the company, and he has an immense amount of knowledge and insight to impart after all these years. It would be nice if Bayu can sometimes spend some more time imparting that to others. I believe many people would love to pick his brain. Happy face and brain. Okay, let's go over to Nongli for comments.
Okay, so I think I'll just comment on the later part. I think the first part is quite self-explanatory. I think this is the part where Bayu did ask me about chapter KPI. So I think as a newbie in the company, there are cultural nuances that I also need to watch out for. So I think historians like yourself, Bayu, Wayana can, sort of. Like, I don't know what's the better word, historians, and of course on Rafiq as well.
Lots of context knowledge. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I feel that, sometimes as newbies, when you come into the company, we need to take into consideration what has happened in the past from a cultural level and also from a business progression level as well. So this is what I meant by so I asked Bayu for his advice, or not advice, or like to pick his brains on it. But then I think Bayu was more like, I think he said like it really depends on what you want to do. But I also understand Bayu also has a very independent, which is that silent warrior, right? You go forth and do what you want to do. That's more important. So I think in that sense, it would be nice if maybe Bayu can share a little bit more of his knowledge and his experience and how the company has grown in that sense. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next one is on hospitality. It's PJC and LC. I don't think I have enough interaction with Bayu to comment on this, but generally, there's a pleasant, easy to approach disposition. Okay, and then next one is innovation, PJE and LE. So excellent and excellent. So Bayu's biggest contribution falls in this category is IT. I think he's definitely done a good job in this area. His next biggest contribution is in business analytics. Right now, data is used to measure the who, what, whens. Next fold is the why. Will it happen again? What happened if we change X? Okay. So predictive modeling, multivariate testing, and external data mining. I believe Bayu has already started thinking, experimenting with this. Okay, let's talk more about this.
So I think in terms of where we are right now, many a times I've always been very confident in selling the internal tools and our data and our analytics, or rather our tools and our data to owners, and also from feedback from owners is that they've often been very often been impressed with what we do. So, but I think in terms of, I give this an E still nonetheless, but I think that the next area of growth is actually less there's some business intelligence, which is the data, but then more in the prediction part and the analytics part where we can grow the business that way.
Okay, all right, very fascinating too as well, forecasting. Okay, and then PJE and LC, so on ownership. So I've seen Bayu take a strong sense of ownership in his IT projects. He's letting go of some of his other roles, such as revenue, so others can take over and he can fully focus on IT. I'm hoping he can spend more time to boost the company's capabilities in this area. Okay, all right. Any comments on that?
No, I think it's quite something.
Okay, all right. So the device is not really a device, more of an extension of the conversation spoken by about moving the company more strategically. I believe he generally agrees. We need to be more strategic in the way we operate and the way chapters make operation decisions. I hope we and other chapter leaders can sit down and address this in an integrated manner. We're supposed to do that today, but we were all, I guess, kind of busy doing promotion reviews today. So today was a leadership appeal. All right, okay. Thank you, Nung Lee, for that discussion. All right, let's go to Diba. Diba has given PJE and LE to impact growth and the interchapter way of thinking, solving problems, self-service, owner, dashboard, innovation. Speak up.
Yeah, trying to keep it short and simple. I hope it's.
Okay. So done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you have a question that you think that this is not really clear, you can ask me.
Oh yeah, but you can stop at any point and ask people too as well. I'm sorry I didn't give you that opportunity before. Would you like to stop either Nunli or Rafik before for any questions about any sort of comment that they have?
No.
No? Okay. All right. So everything they said makes sense, yeah? Okay. All right. So let's go over to, actually, I'm going to ask you to ask the questions. That actually makes a lot more sense than me asking the questions. Okay. So let's go over to next one. So teamwork and leadership, PJE and LC, SLA delivery and KPI culture. Leadership on a squad level are really on point. I want to see it on a chapter level as well, such as more on deck helping hands and clearer vision on a chapter level. Okay. All right. Bayu, any questions?
Basically on chapter level, mostly on content, right? Yeah. So that's why, you know why, right? So yeah.
Tell me why.
I'm not sure what this means. I need more
Okay.
context. Yeah.
Okay. So I get what Diba means. So basically, I'm in the content chapter, but I'm not really in content chapter. So I think that's creating confusion, or even. I think the absence creating a confusion should like expectation from them. Should I expect Bayu to help me or not? So maybe they have that kind of thoughts, but I've cleared it basically. I cannot do everything. So instead of being a burden for content people, I think it's better if I'm accent and let you do your best. Yeah. And everyone basically, because I still feel that from some people in content actually still asking for my advice. It's fine to ask, but for a basic thing or something that basically their own decision, like I'm going to make this project. What do you think? I think you should do that project, right? So that's always the answer, but I don't want people to keep asking me about that. I want people to be confident about their project and just move forward without asking first.
Okay. All right. Interesting discussion. Okay. Considered and noted. Next one on communication. That's a PJE and an LE. So able to provide tools that help us communicate more effectively. Not only provide, but also make sure that the user tools and product is really user friendly and guides everyone to use it to help their work become easier. And use a practice good mentorship through documentation as well. Okay. All right. Bayu, any thoughts or communication on that? No. Okay. All right. Let's go over to the next part. It says PJC and LC. Community management dashboard is a very good start, but no result yet as we applied and monitor. The best practice is very thoughtful gesture to yes, okay, right. But easily forgotten. Need to find a way to regularly maintain the awareness. Yes, okay. Like putting up signs, I guess, right? It says flush the toilet. Okay, all right. Any comments on that? Yes, it's to you, Bayu, for comments. Okay, all right. All right, innovation. So PJE and LE create a lot of useful innovation for the company, products that we needed instead of the products that we want. Okay, and guide and lead everyone to be on board and fluent on the product itself. Great. Any comments? Nope. Okay. All right. Ownership is PJE and LC to take feedback of this project and build this project based on the problem that we face today. Proved by providing platform for feedback such as bug report. Delegation of Squad 2 revenue also seems a little bit too fast handed off, but I am not the best judge of this. We'll refer to Tendi. Okay.
I think it's already answered by Tendi.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
he mentioned it.
All right, fantastic. Okay, Bayu, any comments on this?
Yeah, a little bit. So basically, especially for some feedback, I have a personal feedback form a while ago, and some of the feedback actually that my style of mentorship is a little bit too what do you call it? Offhanded. Yeah, not hands-on. No, because I'm not hands-on. Yeah. So
What? This?
no,
Okay,
that's
we're
not-
gonna stop that.
Yeah,
Ralph and
yeah,
I are both here.
Okay. So
It's gonna get out of control soon.
yeah, but my what do you call it? My vision is actually for mentorship. I prefer that people that I mentor is trying out themselves rather than like always guided step by step. Because most of the people that I try to mentor by step, they will end up just as at best just like me. Never be better than me. So I think it's better just to let them experiment and try to try some new ideas and make a mistake as well.
Okay.
I think that's
Fantastic. Okay, ownership. Okay, that's it. So let's go to the advice part. So I think Bayu is definitely an asset that can bring us closer to the vision of the most innovative hospitality company in the world through his non-stop innovative mindset. What can be improved? More on the deck helping hands. This method helps me to keep up with everyday problem and context in order to come up with the next problem-solving innovation. Smoother delegations. Make sure the duties delegated are well executed first by the person before a handoff phase. And clearer vision on chapter level. On content level, I sometimes need more clearance on whether to lead the chapter or to follow Bayu. My biggest concern is not my side, but the double vision will confuse the new bloods. Okay, all right, I think Bayu's already addressed that a few times in this discussion. So no? Okay, any comments on your side, Bayu?
No.
Okay, all right, let's continue. All right, let's go over to Risky. Risky says, on impact growth is project excellence and leadership excellence. Bayu has the vision to bring where he will bring this company into, given the stimulation for the company to grow individually. Yes, okay, all right, teamwork. Leadership, PJLE. Bayu delegate and nurture individually. The way he leads a squad and chapter to grow is exceptional and undoubtedly experience maker, remarkable decision maker. Okay. Communication, PJC and LC. Bayu does good communication on his team and his. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Please stop me anytime if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. It is almost an hour and a half, so I'm trying to get us all. Right. All right. Bayu's hospitality is due to. Okay. Hospitality is PJC and LC. Bayu's hospitality is crafted due to his long experience working in Bukit Vista and handling all the guests and partners. Innovation, PJE and LE. Bayu's vision is beyond anyone in this company. He could easily bring in new ideas with the right tool and manpower. His innovation will surely bring Bukit Vista 2.0. All right, and then ownership, PJE and LE. The way Bayu brings so many innovations and ideas to this company and shown how he treasures this company to grow into a better company. Okay, advice, please communicate more with the finance team. Okay, any comments on any of this stuff, Bayu? Any of these remarks, Bayu? Okay, all right, Risky, you turn off your mic, so what would you like to say?
Actually, I just wanna. It's not an advice actually. I just wanna open a new page between the team finance and the internal finance and internal tools.
Yes, I think that'd be a great idea.
I'm really aware that we before has a very minimum communication with us by you, right? And there's been so many miscommunication, like on the finance team and the internal tools, like bigger. I'm actually surprised that bigger already rolled out like last month because it has a lot to do with the finance team, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of massive program also. So the partner, we cannot surprise the partner with that brand new thing since our partner is pretty various personality as well. And since now I'm gonna lead the chapter, the finance chapter. So that's why I want to open a new pages with councils, and I want to communicate more to make a good communication with Mas Bayu as well, and hopefully the finance team will grow as well following the internal growth.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much for that input. Any comments on your side, Bayu?
Yeah, actually, I actually realized that. So we have some surprises actually. actually we've been working on the partner dashboard for almost 2 months, I think, with the interns, and then there's no progress in there, and then I noticed that the finance team also almost given up with the project because basically they still need to create the report manually, right? So we got the surprise with BK leaving, and then the only way I don't think Risky can do that alone, and I'm still not sure that we can get a new finance person in time. So at the time, the only way to do that is just to create this first. If Risky can make the report by himself in a monthly basis, Risky can do that, then it's good. Then we can maintain that. But if not, at least we have a backup as a system. So yeah, we can have. It's better to have a backup, unused backup, rather than have nothing. Yeah.
I will also resonate on Bayu's behalf on that one. That was actually a pretty crucial and critical junction point in the company's survival, because as we all know, that finance reports are essentially what keep a good relationship between us and our partners, and they really reduce the impact to the hospitality and operations team from getting a lot of complaints and heat. So essentially, this was a shield, I think, that actually stands in front of finance to simplify the work, and also stands as a wall so that departure of key personnel don't interrupt and don't make essentially other people's work harder. But that being said, I do notice that finance people kind of work also a little bit in sort of isolation sometimes. I think we're trying to serve you, but we should also include you in these discussions as well.
But I think I agree with Risky's point here.
Mm-hmm.
We should we have more communication basically about what is the problem and what we are trying to solve. I think it's time that it works like that. It's worked in their chapter, like internal tools with content, with market building. Now maybe it's time for finance. Yeah, we need to do that one by one. It cannot be
All at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we already talked about what we had imagined also for the Flow project, Risky, so that could be a good new champion of a new tool. All right, let's keep going to Tendi. So on Tendi, Tendi gives PJE and LE for impacted growth. Bayu has grown squad 2. Give some suggestion. Other team join some guild and internal sync up. All right, teamwork, PJE and LE. Bayu some other teams to handling revenue management. Fix the issue with BVAR and Bigger, leading community chapter to Bigger with partner. On communication, PJE and LE. Bayu has great communication with the team that needed help in trying to find a solution. Hospitality, PJE and LE. Bayu helped the owner more aware about bad reviews and put the place to follow the bad review by using Bigger. Innovation, PJE and LE, new dashboard for arrival list, review management, and payout in Bigger. And ownership, PJE and LE. Bayu is responsible for their project and role by fixing any bug or issue with the dashboard. He also helps cover any role that need help, like revenue management. Okay, all right. Any comments for you, Bayu?
For me.
Okay, all right. Bless you. Tendi, I'm wondering why you're giving PJE, but then you also give a 9 in terms of how frustrated you are with the comment part not getting fixed on Bigger or BVAR. Or, is it Bigger? Bigger. So, wait, did the comments part work on?
I put the 9 for the previous arrival list, the BVR.
Oh.
The Bigger, yeah. Because we checked that 5 months from 5 months.
Okay, so that's
right?
even more relevant to this point, right?
Yeah.
So that's a bug that never got fixed, right?
Yeah. Okay?
I'm just noting there was an inconsistency. You're really bothered by the no comments and no ETA thing, or these things getting erased. But then also you say that everything is also really good.
Oh, that's.
Or am I
this is
misunderstanding?
the
He
Bigger.
meant the BFAR, the old one.
The old one.
Don't
Okay.
have any comment.
Okay, but that's where the majority of this has been happening, right? On the old one.
Yeah, because the BPAR, that's a project from the NIA, right? And Incent. And then Bayu, but now
okay.
there
Right, that
is
just makes sense. Okay. All right, there's not too much we could do anyways with that, right? Okay. All right. Understood. Interesting. Okay. So advice is good job by you. Do a lot more. Make Bukit Vista grow and efficient working. Share your knowledge about internal tools with the team, and maybe open recruit new person for senior team when you're on holiday and happen with some bug. All right. Okay. Reliability. Okay. Last one is me. Okay. So this is me on impact to growth. I give PJE and LE for impact to growth. I think in all dimensions, Bayu's efforts have been crucial to growth. His tools are automating tasks that are repetitive and boring. His data analytics are providing visibility in crucial business areas. This allows us to make actually very focused and accurate decisions. Once again, that's a strategic competitive advantage that we have that other people don't have, and allows for continuous scaling. So once again, there is a corresponding, this automation allows us to scale without having to scale in headcount, and this reduces a lot of overhead and communication and cost and spending, and also an overall cultural preservation too as well. Okay, so this is the correct conditions that allow for growth, and it is the correct conditions that actually, when owners come to me and they say, hey, look, the bigger you get, the worse you get, having these kinds of tools allows that not to happen. So that allows the quality to be preserved as we continue to get bigger. So, bigger, pun intended, no pun intended. So, teamwork, I give PJA and LC. Bayu has transformed in this category, stepping up to lead squad 2 and creating effective project management culture in his squad for a long time. Bayu was not thinking from a user perspective, and this led to frictions in the leadership culture. As of recently, I have noticed that the changes are happening to develop more user-centric behavior, and this is progression from where we had previous left off. Okay, on communication, PJA and LC, so communication is context and signaling, and Bayu is moving forward on high context communication. This is great. This is reducing the signaling need to go back and forth, reducing the noise as our company grows. But once again, back to the point about signals. Signals are also very important in crucial and urgent ways, and sometimes those are not exactly forthright. So the signaling part, let's say at some points could be a little bit better, but the context part is improving a lot. So next one on hospitality. Okay, so this is a little bit stepping on toes, but I would say that Bayu is not the first person I think of when I think of when it comes to hospitality. Bayu is a logician, and this is a unique type of personality. I think it takes time to actually get Bayu's points, which I think can lack empathy. Ultimately, I do believe that Bayu is right, and his methods do get the right set of behaviors to happen. It would be inspirational to see his love of the team and the mission be more evident in the work. So what I mean by this is this. You are right in almost every category, but I think the dose of the medicine can be sometimes a little bit bitter, as I've reflected a few times. I think there are more, let's say, elegant ways, and we are a hospitality company, to be playful, be creative, be sort of like get people to yes, figure out their own solutions, develop their own potential, without having, let's say, this feeling that it's you go figure it out, right? Type thing. So that's what I mean by the inspirational part. So I think most of the work revolves around a search for efficiency rather than actually designed to create joyful experiences around the tools. So those are elements that I think, let's say if you look at Airbnb, for example, it does have, let's say, structural properties that make it easy. But it also has like nice little touches, like Slack does, that make the tool actually kind of fun and playful, and has these elements of EQ also involved in it. So these are parts that I think can be further developed. From Bayu, actually, my advice is to really step on toes, and this doesn't mean, I think, stepping on toes in sort of a challenging your idea to another idea, but it's just also make a clear line about how people make you feel. I actually don't know really much about how you feel about anything, and that I think can help your behavior be much better understood. Just a moment ago, we were talking about this, a switch over to the content chapter. If people know that what you're feeling is that you actually want them to grow, that you want them to be better than you, that you have these intentions, I think then the message becomes clear, right? And it creates the correct perspective and expectations around. So if we don't know how you feel, then it leaves a lot of space for interpretation and also misunderstanding to happen too as well. Okay, on the next part on innovation. excellent in both categories, in projects and also leadership. You're one of the leading members in this category, and you do fully embrace never settle. Oftentimes, I feel very cautious about saying any person is excellence because I notice as soon as we define that, then their performance starts rolling off. And it's true, it's true. And I know it's not even just me, but I also seen on Masterclass how, you know, sometimes when the day you realize that they're doing really good, that's essentially their last good day, and every other day is slightly worse than that day. So I do feel much more confident saying this because I do know that for you, you have your own internal logic for what excellence means, and I think that is always a bit above what other people call it too. And so that is truly the spirit of never settle, which is almost kind of a paradox. If you're never settling, then you're never excellent either, right? So you're sort of always chasing your own tail in that way. So bigger projects are consistently challenging. They are challenging. They're addressing real difficult issues with real difficult problems, and you are addressing these solo in many cases, all by yourself. And you generate impact to the company's mission of becoming the world's most innovative hospitality company. And you experiment a lot with new technology. You have an infinite appetite for absorbing new things and playing with it and understanding how that can actually make impact to what we do. And you have a very good discernment of what is necessary and what is just vanity and what is necessary and not. The points of improvement I could suggest is how do you actually generate an entire culture of innovation? So I would not necessarily see that currently. I don't see Squad 2 coming up with like, you know, a really flamboyant innovation culture. They sort of innovate a little bit and then they stop. They innovate a little bit and stop. I've noticed that with, let's say, the iPad solution that Tendi had for Puri Kalapa. I've seen that also with Chandra's innovations. They sort of don't carry on a self-driven way. So as part of a leader, I think, of innovation, we have to think about really how do we get people around us also to pick up an innovative spirit and an innovative culture and get us all innovating. That's why I had that discussion about being able to share the metrics, because I think that is a dashboard for that. Okay, all right, last one on ownership. Bayu delivers, and this is project excellence and this is leadership excellence. There is almost no time. I can't remember a single time where I've needed to supervise or check on your work. It always gets finished on time, as promised, as delivered. So this is really good. This means that we can work on a vision level, and this is a strong case of, this is almost an ideal case of alignment and autonomy. As long as we have that alignment, then kind of Bayu can do whatever he wants and it will get done. Okay? All right, so that's pretty much it. My advice is already been placed inside all my comments. Do you have any comments? No. Okay, all right, fantastic. All right, Bayu, your turn to exit and our turn to talk. Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, so this is a little bit of a unique situation. Bayu's our CTO, right? So previously, before promoted to CTO, I think he was sort of like at a level where his leadership was actually questioned. Remember last year, right? So there was no actual leadership sort of development there. But since between that time and now, there's been quite a lot that has happened. So we took a look at his contract. I took a look at his contract and said, I think this needs to be updated because there are a lot more progressions in law. So it's a little weird because sort of like the container for CTO was actually a huge container. I think he was kind of like just beginning to fill it because he was working on the technology part. But the part for leadership had not actually been really filled yet. So this is pretty much a re-evaluation of his leadership capabilities rather than sort of like his programming and his development and his project capabilities. So if we do decide to say the promotion, we're saying, yes, you are acting much more like a leader now than before. And I think the correct people that have that context are Tendi, Rafik from the before and after, but also to the people who are also new here, because leadership does impart a strong sense of culture to everybody. Okay, all right. Let's see. Does anybody have any emotions to either advance or not advance Bayu's promotion at this point? I'm not here. Okay, all is a hard question to start, right? Okay, let's go with, let's start from the nays first. Is there anybody who thinks that Bayu, wait, maybe how do we do this? How do we do this fairly? Are there any points that anybody would like to see Bayu improve? Let's go with that first. Yeah?
See Bayu improve.
Yes, what would you like to see Bayu improve?
I think it's, Bayu need to share the knowledge more.
He needs to share knowledge more. Okay.
Yeah, because it's sometimes if Bayu day off or holiday, if the internal tool is, we don't know it, machine, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it's off and on.
Yeah.
Off, because it's like a heart, right?
Yeah.
If you don't get a heart attack,
Okay.
you
Got it.
will dead.
Oh, okay, so Bayu needs to find a way so that other people can actually
Delegate.
delegate so that the tool structure can be running. Or there's somebody who can fix problems, right?
Yes,
For
yes.
the tools that happens. Okay, I would tend to agree with that. Yeah, that's pretty crucial at this point. It's good to think about how continuity will happen. Okay, any other points of improvement? Let's just go around since I don't know if everyone will volunteer. Let's go to Diva. Diva, anything that Bayu could do to improve?
I basically already explained on the paper, but
Okay.
this long story short, I think you mentioned it, and then also like it's about the balance between the logic and the heart.
No.
Probably yeah.
Okay.
I think he's a very good mentor.
Uh-huh.
I think he's leading the squad and creating another leader in the squad.
Yeah.
Right? And I think imagine if he amplified the listening skill that he had, using his heart and combining with his logic. Wow, wow.
Okay. Right.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Good.
Could be a very.
I did see that. I think you changed your review halfway through because I remember you said something different at one point on your review of this. On Bayu's review, have you modified it before?
No.
Oh.
Never.
Okay. All right. Okay. Must have seen something else then.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Oh, I saw it on Bayu's internal thing. Right. He went around. and He got like opinions. I think before he did this review.
Oh,
And there was, okay. I saw that. Yeah, okay.
The big
Got it. Yeah. The feedback. Okay. All right. Yeah.
My son,
Yes. Go
I
ahead.
think I want to make this clear. I think Bayu is not build the squad 2, but it's build the squad 3.
Okay. Tell me more.
Because squad 2 before is only me, Antti, and Bastian. Okay? And then Bayu and Bastian is going to Jogja. You remember?
Yes, I do remember that.
To build squad 3.
Yep.
And then Bayu coming to squad 2 as a revenue management. And then we are good now until now.
Got it.
Yeah.
So he extended beyond his actual reach to. Yeah, that's right. Actually, he did build squad 3.
It's not build the squad 2, but it's build the squad 3.
It's true. Okay, squad 3 didn't work out.
But,
though.
yeah.
Yeah,
Squad
but
3,
It's,
but
building is one thing, but maybe
Yeah.
it's
Melody is
It's actually-
important,
it was-
right?
it was actually quite transformational to
Yeah.
go there, and he didn't stop. Actually, that's another good sign. Bayer actually didn't do well in his first 2 squads. If I remember, he was not really good, and then this is the
Yeah.
3rd time it's gotten much
Bayu
better.
is at Jogja, I think it's more than 3 months from last year.
Alright, okay. Alright, good points. Let's go to Nunli. Nunli, any thoughts or advice?
I feel like Diva, everything's encapsulated there.
Okay.
But in summary, Bayu definitely is a visionary. I think he definitely also is. His skill sets is almost, I think, I think it would be very hard to replace his skill set with just anybody. So in that sense, it's very it's an asset. The last thing is just that maybe in terms of maybe communication, it's probably Bayu's. I would say. The one portion I feel he really needs to work on.
What part of this communication are we talking about? We're talking about, like, let's say, signaling, context, we're talking emotional, we're talking about like availability. What is the realm of communication that Bayu can focus on that?
You said contact signaling and you said emotional, right?
Something else?
I guess signaling is one. Context, I think he's actually okay. For me, I think Bayu's emotionally, I think I get Bayu. So to me, I don't think that I don't feel like Bayu has any flaws at all.
Okay, alright. Good stuff. Alright, let's keep on going. Let's go to Risky. Risky, any thoughts of improvement that Bayu could have?
Maybe on this, I don't understand how Bayu, sometimes how he thinks and how he try to stimulate others to grow. It's bigger and some of the finance tools that actually not been communicated before, and maybe it can be more communicated with clients before.
Got it. Okay. I'm also complicit in that, Risky. I have to admit that we were sort of on a rescue mission to defend what was going to happen if, let's say, because the worst case scenario is, let's say, Gigi quits, and then you get overwhelmed, and then you quit, and then that's it, right? That's kind of like the end of the company right there.
No, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about how to communicate.
All right. Okay, got it. So more like involvement, right? More like, okay, all right, getting the finance people involved in that at that stage. Okay, all right, good. Let's go to Tendi. Tendi, okay, you know Bayu fairly well. You have probably a high amount of surface contact with Bayu. Do you have any advice for improvement on his side?
Yeah, because I believe have more contact with Bayu, like communication as well. Because when I have something problem like with the venue or with something like goal or something, so Bayu can like help me, and then sometimes we argue with each other, but after argue we get the solution together. So and then I can bring it to my goal or either my squad. Okay, a goal. So I believe also like more. It's like a different value than when I last year and this year.
Yeah.
Because I get more knowledge than value.
Okay. Yeah. I think. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Now it's up to me now. All right. Okay. Here's my thoughts. I think that there are parts of Buddy that are going to be unchangeable. Right. There's going to be parts that are essentially that's just who he is, and I think we're going to have to either say, all right, we want you to change about that, but I also wonder, is that actually a fair thing, right? Is that actually like something that okay, all right, I am this way, and maybe that's something we just gotta say we gotta accept. So I think at a certain point we just have to say, all right, what is it that he actually means, and what is it that we're interpreting, right? So part of that is our expectations as well. I've noticed that in the very beginning, Buddy can send off weird vibes. And these vibes are a little bit cold. They send off as like, okay, do you not care? Why are you telling me to like, look it up myself? But we had a big debate about this whole OKR versus SLA thing, and his method on Squad 2 versus Squad 1. So I insisted that paper, okay, whatever was right. But I can actually see now, you remember this debate, right, in the very beginning. I can see that this method is probably going to work out better. And it has been more clearly thought out. It's been more clearly addressed. And Bayi actually, I could see now, he could see that clearly. Probably didn't see the need to debate this at all, right? It was just like perfectly logical already. And I think part of it is perhaps it could be just intelligence. Like, okay, I see it. I don't know why you don't see it, right? Part of it could be like, why am I having to argue something that's so obvious? Right? I often wonder about that and it might come off as haughty or arrogant or whatever it is and give bad vibes, but I often thought maybe that's just myself being insecure, right, about my own ideas, and then let's just sort of leave it in almost like a Yoda, right? Just just do what I say and it'll be fine, and you'll figure out later as you go through it. And almost time after time after time, as time sort of unfolded, we found, yeah, you were essentially right. Yeah, this was actually the correct way. We had debates on Toki about this, right? Everyone hated Toki. Toki was all fucked up and it was breaking, and he said, no, we still have to use it, and why? You're not the ones actually having to deal with overbooked guests, but we could not run this company today without Toki. It would just not be possible running everything on Google Sheets and expecting partners to do that. SLAs, these things are all discussions and sort of things that have been brought forward. We've had lots of debates also, but as Chendi also mentioned, I think through these cycles, eventually we discover the truth. And the truth is often, I think, more satisfying than just making everyone feel happy. In fact, it's very much the embodiment of stepping on toes. Very much the embodiment of, okay, I'm not here to make you so feel good, but let's kind of arrive at what the correct solution is and let the solution speak for itself. So in that particular regard, I could see that, yes, Bayu has absolutely delivered on those. I think just once again is, if Bayu had just like a more fuzzy cover around that, like if it was covered with like fur instead of stainless steel. What?
You look like a Care Bear.
Like it would, let's say, be in the context of a hospitality company. I think that would make things nicer. But ultimately, all his efforts are ultimately, I think they are like Spock. They are doing for the greater good. We are all essentially getting more time available to work on higher quality things because these are absorbing all the problems for us. And I think sometimes also Bayu doesn't even realize that these are actually doing that benefit. He does it, I think, mostly out of efficiency and also this desire to see perfection. So in this particular regard, I don't know, right? What I'm saying is perhaps maybe it's just a change in interpretation and understanding, hey, this person just kind of behaves this way, and this is just the way they are, and we all have our weird little habits, right? Pointing at Rafik, pointing at me, pointing at Noli. You know, Noli's peaches, Rafik with his sex jokes, Ziba with her sort of self-misery and thing, and Risky with Risky, me with my just idiocy and general sort of lack of being able to remember things, and you know, I think we all have our things and quirks. And so what I'm saying is, all right, what is the quirk that we can fix, and what is the quirk that we can't fix, and what is the quirk that adds to the mission, what's the quirk that doesn't really add to the mission? It's more like a popularity contest. Okay, so I'm just asking us to consider that. That being said, also another level, another dimension. A leadership promotion is a big impact on culture, right? It's a big direction saying, all right, what you're doing is right, and you should keep on doing that. It is also our way of keeping leadership accountable at this point, right, to whatever we're going to be doing and whatever we're going to be experiencing next for a long time, in the next 10 years. So if there is one thing now, I'm going to recycle this again, if there is one thing that Bayu should focus on and should develop and should focus his energy, intelligence, his emotional skills and whatnot on, what should that one thing be? To Rafik.
It's hard to say, right? Yes, Lindy?
Can I go first then?
Yes.
I think for me it's definitely his communication.
Okay, communication.
That's all.
Okay, all right, communication. Okay, Tadiba?
I think why I think it works, this thing works, is because, at least for me, but you keep challenging myself. And I think that is the key point that people want to, I don't know, some people maybe just tap out and go. But for me, like, okay, there's the next level in this game, right? I have to finish this game. I need somebody, in my case, at least, that kind of person is the one that, at least, stepping up your level as an individual, right? And we need those kind of person in this company. So perhaps keep challenging that on
Everyone.
Yeah, so that everyone can, let's say, innovate like the way he did.
Okay.
Or like in their own ways.
Okay. So create a culture of challenge. Create a culture of delegate.
Yeah.
Okay, delegate more innovation to other people's. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay, Nali, you have something more to add?
Oh no, I was just gonna ask Diva, do you mean like he should be the catalyst for innovation?
What?
Catalyst for innovation,
That
like a
means
person
he-
who actually drives more people innovate.
Like what he does, basically, he has the biggest value he has is the EV value is never settled, right? Do you mean that he should be the instigator to get other people to then think about how to then innovate and challenge them? Because I think it sort of is part of this communication bit with Bayu, right? Is that he's quite a silent warrior, like I said, right? He just expects you to like understand him, but sometimes it's like
The thing is, I feel the impact on me.
Yeah.
So
But you're saying for others.
yeah,
Yeah.
for others.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Yeah, I feel really. I mean, like your experience. I feel like in the first time, is that really how you're planning to solve that? I'm like, but I've proven wrong multiple times because he challenges me.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
What would happen if he didn't challenge me?
And yeah. Okay. All right. And that's kind of culture we want. We want people like
Yeah.
feel challenged and feel stepped up. Okay, all right. All right, driving catalyst to innovation. Okay, to you, Risky. What would you say?
We maybe just about the communication, sir. There's
Okay,
nothing
back on
else.
communication. Okay, great. And then what about you, Tendi?
Yeah, I agree with Diba as well because I think Mas Bayu is like a if we want their information, we have to touch him because if we not touch him, he don't touch you as well. So if I want to learn how to revenue and I want to check, so I touch him and then they will give like a challenging. Hi, maybe you can try to I just like some. In the first time, I just like a surprise, and then because he just said, "You take Uluwatu from tomorrow," like for the revenue, and just like, oh my god. So and then, but that's I feel like challenging. So I learned how to like manage the price. Yeah, I like try to find information about the revenue management and everything. So it's like for me, it's like it's working like about the communication, but you have to touch him.
Got it. Okay, so once again,
Yeah.
expectation setting. Yeah, maybe we need to change our expectations to actually get more impact. Okay, it's like a fire, right? You have to don't put your hand in it, but learn how to approach it. Okay, interesting. Okay, 2 words. It's inspire delight. Right? I think Bayu needs to think about how to inspire. First word, how to inspire other people. How to inspire. In your case, it worked, right? In Tenny's case, it worked. This is probably like a Shaolin master, right? Somebody who's waiting for the students to approach, and I find it's actually a pretty efficient approach, right? A lot of times we spend a lot of energy with disciples that are like less than ready or less than eager. So in this particular regard, I think it could be a particular method, but inspiring, I think, can be far more dimensional than what is happening right now, right? Not just having 2, but many, many, many other people who are inspired. And delighting people, getting people like, hey, yeah, that's awesome, your tools are so surprisingly well. And I think so much of it has been delivered, but just a little bit more push could get to be delightful. Just like maybe, I don't know, like how Slack has just little messages here and there that kind of keep it real for you. And at the end of the day, let's remember we're a hospitality company, so the tools we use should also be hospitable. The programs we choose should all be done in the spirit of hospitality rather than in the spirit of efficiency. All right. So those 2 words, inspire delight. Okay. All right. So I'll start a motion. So I'll go ahead and start the motion because I think there's overwhelming amount of evidence that.
Yeah, I only sleep 1 hour, so.
Okay. All right. Overwhelming evidence that there should be no. Okay. I motion that Bayu should be promoted. Do I have a second? Okay, it's been seconded by Risky. Okay, all right. Is there any further discussion? Okay, no. Okay, let's go to the vote. All in favor of supporting Bayu's promotion, please vote in favor now. Okay, all right, it's universal. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time today. This session has been recorded, and we will let Bayu study it. And thank you very much. And also the points of improvement have been also recorded. Cool. All right.